In this episode number 6 of the Ad 10 Grow Show, I'm going to talk about my fears. Hi there and welcome to episode number 6 of the Ad 10 Grow Show. My name is Casey Gollan and I am going to talk about my fears. And right now my hairs are standing up on my legs and on my arms. I want to talk to you about fears because I've got a shitload of them and I bet you as an entrepreneur have them as well. And it's time to get real. You might look at Facebook or you might look at Instagram and all those things and see the sunny side of whatever anyone's putting out on those particular platforms about their business. The reality is, just like you, they have fears. And part of growing your business from where you've done it to where you are now to where you need to get to, you need to go through a whole lot of fears and conquer them to get to the top. Now, I've worked with some pretty smart people, some super clever people, one of which is Eddie Machaalani from BigCommerce, and he calls it the rollercoaster, and him and Mitch, even though they've had super success with their business, they still experience the ups and downs, and it's dealing with the downs and with the letdowns and with the problems and the frustrations that you need to deal with to become a great entrepreneur. Because let's face it, as an entrepreneur, our number one skill is troubleshooting. Have you realized that? We are troubleshooters. So guess what that means? We are going to find ourselves in trouble because we're a troubleshooter. That's what we do. So we dream of having the business where nothing goes wrong. It's always going to go wrong. There's just stuff that happens. We're dealing with people, we're dealing with markets, we're dealing with technology. Stuff's going to go wrong, and it's our ability to troubleshoot that and to build a team of troubleshooters that can do it for us. That's how we're going to prosper. So, what are your fears? Let me just roll up the sleeves, open the curtain, and show you some of my fears. All right, my fears are pretty stuffed up. Okay. I've got this thing where I'm scared of failure, so I come out of the blocks like super quick. But then I've got a fear of success as well. So I come out of the blocks quick and then I kind of waver around here because I don't want to go there and I don't want to go there. So I kind of stay in the middle. So I've had to deal with that a lot to try and work out what do I need to do? What do I need to deal with to keep myself growing? So there's a couple of things that I've found out about my fears, okay? So fear of failure, fear of success, fear of criticism. Can you believe it? I'm on video right now and I've got a massive fear about criticism. That might tell you something about me because I'm going to do it anyway. All right, I've got to do this because I know my instinct is I've got to get on this video, I've got to get on the podcast and get what it is that I do out there because I've helped a lot of people. Even though I'm scared of doing it, I've got to do it because that's what I believe I've got to do. So you might be the same. There might be fears for you, whether it's fear of failure, fear of success, fear of criticism, and that criticism makes me procrastinate because I know what it is I need to do to get to here, but I'm scared of the criticism. So what I do is I put it off and I don't act on it. So what's yours? Now, bring it back to me. So what it is that I've had to do is I've had to go through some processes to go, okay, geez, I'm starting to procrastinate now. Why am I doing that? Well, there was a time when I was growing up that I used to get was my dad. And what my dad used to do, he was a maths teacher. He's very clever with statistics and maths. And so what I had to do when I was a kid was I always had to present my schoolwork to him before I took it to school to see if it was right, because he wanted me to get it 100% right before I took it to school. So rather than, now him, this has got nothing to do with my dad, because my dad's a gorgeous person and he meant the best, And he did that because he cared. But for me as a young kid, I just wanted to play and I just wanted to get on with things, like, do other cool stuff rather than my homework. But what happened for me is I built up a resentment on doing my homework and showing it to my dad, because if I got it wrong, one, I would have let him down, I would have let myself down, and then I'd have to do it again, so that took more time. So what I started doing when I was very young, and I was unconscious about this until I started working through some things to find out about this, what I did was I took my time to get that work done because I was fearful of the criticism. So I'd leave it to the last minute, because guess what happens in the last minute? No one can check it. So typically what I do is I leave my work to the last minute and then I get it done. Is it usually at a good standard? Yes, it is. But I wasted so much time procrastinating and stuffing around, whereas I could have done it then and get it out. And I could do another project, and then another project, and another project, and another project, and then get myself towards where I want to go. That's my fear. That's how I've worked through it. How are you doing yours? My challenge for you is be real. What's your fears? What are you facing right now? Write down your 1 to 3 key fears. Then what I want you to do is go, what is that about? And when did it happen? How old was I? And then write down a story if you can find a story. And then try and work through, what did that mean to you at that time? And then as an adult, look at it and go, okay, hey, I was in primary school, maybe, I'm just trying to pick the age now, I think it was about 7, maybe 10. And so for me to hold on to that is not productive for me as an adult, and I'm as a 43-year-old person right now. So what I did as a bit of a psychology session here is, as an adult, I went, hey, that was good for you right then to protect yourself, but what my dad was actually trying to do was some really cool stuff. So take that on as cool stuff. It is actually better to get instant feedback so you can become better. And that's, as an athlete and as a business person, that's what I want. But I was unconscious of it. So for you, have a look at what happened, why it happened, how you felt, and as an adult, how should you look at that right now to then embrace your trip forward in your business? So face your fears. Hope you got a lot out of this, me bearing my soul and my silly little fears, but I'm going to do it anyway, and I hope you do too. If you love this, comment, share, tag people in that need to hear this, because if they need to grow their business from where they grew it to now to where they want to take it, you've got to overcome your fears. So join me in adding 10. You take care. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll talk again soon.